I'm a little confused as to the anger and the frustration coming from him, because it's like, you do realize that people make mistakes, right? And that I'm not an idiot just because I made a mistake.
Right.
Calling me a dumbass hit a little hard considering I'm autistic, and so
The person you just saw in this interview clip with Rosanna Pansino, a famous YouTuber who makes content on food, is Casey. Casey is the manager at the Fred Meyer that had the viral recall sign about Lunchly, which caused a lot of controversy because of its questionable health concerns. Logan Paul, one of Lunchly's founders, called out Casey on social media for putting up the sign, which turned out to be very wrong.
Alright, this is the best one yet. According to ex-users, various retail stores have recalled Lunchly products due to FDA's concerns. The sign in the tweet reads, "Due to public health concerns, the FDA has recalled Lunchly products. We will restock as soon as deemed fit for consumption and ship through our warehouses." But that's so weird because FDA recalls are public by law. And as you can see, Lunchly is not on the FDA recall list. So hold up, that means that this sign is fake. Somebody typed up and printed out a 100% lie about Lunchly being recalled, taped it to the fridge, then a picture of it was taken by someone else and posted on social media as if it were real. Community notes, where you at?
Even though the sign ended up being wrong, it was put up for a good reason. But we'll come back to that later. First, we gotta talk about Lunchly. If you're not familiar with Lunchly, it's basically a copy and paste of Lunchables made by mrbeast, Logan Paul, and KSI. The only real differences are the mrbeast chocolate bar and the Prime Energy drink that replaces the snack and drink in the package. Lunchly is supposed to be a healthier option compared to a Lunchables according to mrbeast. From the videos I've seen, that actually might be true. I think I'd rather just eat the classic Lunchables though, or, you know, maybe a real meal instead of these pre-packaged stuff. Ever since Lunchly came out, there's been a lot of backlash because so many people found moldy cheese in the packaging and posted their videos online, including Rosanna Pansino herself.
I was shooting a video comparing Lunchly to Lunchables, and I opened the first package, which was supposed to be good until December 8th, 2024, and we just got this one. This was fresh from the store this morning, and there is a ton of mold in there. I honestly wasn't expecting that.
Rosanna wasn't the only one that found moldy cheese in her Lunchly. There were others too.
There's no way.
It's not a coincidence that so many people are finding moldy cheese in their Lunchlys. There's gotta be a real reason this is happening, and I'm guessing it has to do with the bad packaging. This is definitely a problem that shouldn't be happening considering the founders of Lunchly are some of the richest people in the internet space. You're telling me that mrbeast, Logan Paul, and KSI can't even release a quality product? Anyways, there's been a lot of food recalls lately, so Casey, the manager at Fred Meyer who handles that sort of thing, created a sign to stop people from buying the product.
I walked up to my boss and asked, should I post a sign, do you think? And he's like, well, it's going to take me a sec because I'm super busy. I'm going to have to look for the sign, but I do believe that it was on the recall list. So you can go ahead and do that, and I will I will find the actual recall notice and put it up, and if it's not been, I'll pull it down.
It seems like Casey's boss at Fred Meyer thought Lunchly was part of the recall list, and boy was he wrong. This simple piece of paper attached to a fridge is what caused Logan to get mad and take it out on Casey. There are so many people who found out who Casey was just because Logan decided to blast him on social media in a short video.
So who put that fake sign up? Turns out it was an employee named who said this when we confronted him, and I quote, "That was like kind of rumorized, I guess, through around here, but we had seen a posting about that, but I was the one who had written that, but since we got Lunchly back, it's been taken down." When it comes down to the actual, I guess, accountability of it, it was a rumor that was up in the air. Since we had heard that the FDA whole thing was kaput, we took it down. Yeah, it was more of yeah, it wasn't like a, anyway. Hater or dumbass? I don't know, maybe both.
Logan bleeped out Casey's name and even censored his eyes in the picture, but that definitely was not enough to keep his identity a secret. There's too many people out there who had too much time on their hands and found out Casey's identity. Also, Logan made it even easier for Casey to be found because he hired a whole forensics team just to find the exact location where the sign came from.
Anyway, I had my forensics team look into it, and they were able to find the exact location where this allegedly took place by photo matching the tweet with the gray door handle and the sales labels. Then we cross-referenced it with the locations that we distribute to. It's a Fred Meyer, and I had someone go there. Boom, exact match. Same door handle, same tag, same products even, but hold on, where is the FDA recall sign?
If Logan even spent half that energy on fixing the moldy Lunchly situation, maybe things wouldn't have gotten this out of hand. I get that Logan is mad about the sign because it's not true. It makes sense why he's mad. But he's seriously crashing out on a random grocery store worker at the end of the day. He was just doing his job, man. Because of this video, Fred Meyer received so much backlash that they were forced to suspend Casey.
And then I got called into HR, or rather I had insisted talking to HR about it because I wanted to know if I was okay to work. And then she told me to return. I got called in. And then when it came to the conversation, they were very warm about it. They're like, look, we kind of have to suspend you just because we don't know what else to do. This has never happened in the entirety of the company's history. And we're trying to, mitigate your suffering when it comes to the community because there are people who have seen this and will recognize you.
It sucks to see someone essentially lose their job just because Logan decided to go full force on him for some reason. Even the higher-ups at Fred Meyer said that they had to suspend Casey just because of the drama happening. Casey handled the situation really well considering he was getting exposed all over the internet. I think that just shows the type of guy he is. He's pretty calm and collected and really cares about the store. It's always insane to see someone getting called out by a big social media influencer. With the influence and power Logan has, Casey is now in a really tough spot.
I stand by my company's decision because ultimately they are doing damage control. Their name was thrown under the bus too. The Fred Meyer name, which I've trusted pretty much my entire life, is suddenly under fire as well.
I don't know if it's better for him to just find a new job altogether, but he's worked really hard to get where he's at, so I guess he can't really quit now. I mean, I wouldn't either.
So I moved to the area about 3 years ago, started working at Fred Meyer again. I had worked there a couple of years ago and started with like overnight freight and was just, stocking shelves at the overnight hours and stuff. And then eventually the opportunity came for me to actually get promoted and start management over there. So I became their closing relief manager, which basically means I oversee the intake of freight and everything.
This guy was working overnight hours for years and got promoted pretty fast. It probably seemed like everything was going well for him until this incident happened. The biggest reason why this entire situation is really bad for Casey is because he's not even getting paid anymore.
Are you being paid right now while you're on leave?
I'm not, no. I'm not being paid. Basically, they gave me suspension without pay and it's pending investigation. So if I do go back to work, if they allow me to come back to work, they'll determine how much time I should have been suspended for and then back pay me. However, with there being a controversy at this Freddy's already, I don't know how well that whole thing is going to play out for me.
Casey's essentially unemployed if you ask me. Yeah, he's still technically the manager at Fred Meyer, but if you're not even working or getting paid, what's the point? His loyalty to his company is crazy. I really hope he's able to get his job back, especially since he has a family to care for.
I met her very recently, and so I've started the family life and started being a father to her children, or rather a stepfather, and finding my place in things and really finding where I belong. And it's been really an enriching experience. She's been wonderful with my dogs, which I treat like children, and I've been trying to be as good as I can for her children as well.
I genuinely think Casey is a good guy. You can tell he's pretty cautious with how he talks, but he has a positive attitude about the whole situation, especially when it comes to his family. How can anyone hate on this guy? To think that all of the harassment and exposure came from a simple mistake that Casey's boss at Fred Meyer made is actually insane. I'm not too sure who to really blame here. Is it the boss's fault for telling Casey it was okay to put the sign up? Or did Logan Paul just go too far this time? Everyone makes mistakes. I mean, we all know Logan Paul's history about a forest. People get cancelled every day for all kinds of reasons. But luckily, this incident hasn't really hurt Casey's reputation too much. although it does bring up some safety concerns, I'd imagine.
Yeah, were the photos of you and the store Logan shared in his video accurate?
They were. Yeah. Yeah, he showed the front of my store, which if you can geo-track based off of handles and store fixtures, I'm pretty sure you can geo-track based off of that. So my safety is kind of, I feel, in jeopardy because he's got some pretty crazy fans. And like, I mean, I'm sure everybody does. But like when it comes down to it, it's one of those things that being that I just started my fatherhood role and I want to protect these kids that I'm looking after. It's one of those deals that I'm staying on edge pretty much all the time, even though I don't look like it. And that might be why I'm so calm right now, is I'm also a little exhausted from it.
Not only is Casey's safety and family at risk, but all his finances are in trouble too. More events continued to happen to him that same day, which just made things even worse for him.
Funny enough, the same day that this had all happened, like hours maybe before, I had received a medical bill out of nowhere for $1,000. And so I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, what's this for? And turns out that it's because a year ago I had been in the ER for some heart issues. Heart was kind of beating irregularly at times. And it was right around the time that I had been promoted to the new Fred Meyer. Yeah, so I have that. In addition to that, my car also took a crap on me about a month and a half ago and has just been sitting. So I've been commuting by bike. And in addition to that, I also have a Malamute that had some of his hair fall out. So I had to bring him to the vet. And it turns out that he had, had some issues with his undercoat and stuff like that. So we had to get him groomed.
Even though it seems like a domino effect of bad luck happening in Casey's life, he still remains positive and at least has his family for support. It looks like the internet is also on his side after reading the comments on his interview video with Rosanna Pansino. Even with all the bad things happening in his life, Casey still seems pretty grateful with what he has.
While there's a bunch of things happening in life, there is also a bunch of blessings. And when it comes down to it, the biggest one I have is the family that I've just acquired and that I want to stick with, and that has become my world.
This guy is either the greatest actor ever, or he's just a really genuine person. There's no in between about that. So what do you guys think? Did Logan Paul take it too far this time? Or was he valid for exposing Casey? Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching!